Good morning, everyone. How's it all going? You are joining us here at beautiful Switzerland, Lake Silverplana, the Under-21 World Championships and International Games. I'm Rafa Farid, and I'm joined here with Sandy.
Hello, 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 and we are very excited to be here. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, the beautiful Lake Silverplana. Bit of a thunderstorm overnight, but the clouds have cleared and we have some wind. Not quite the wind necessarily we were looking for. You know, we were hoping to do a bit of a mix, but it is perfect wind for us to be running the slalom racing today. But should we have a bit of chat about yesterday first?
No, we certainly will. I mean, yesterday was a full day, full of course racing, and full of that marathon. We had that marathon. The marathon race, it's the one race out the whole week that we have at the iQFOiL, and it was just epic, wasn't it?
It was, and it's been so nice. You know, we kind of started the week quite light winds with some slalom, built up with the course racing, and then some more course racing yesterday afternoon before, as you said, that huge marathon race. And some interesting results coming out of that marathon.
It certainly was. It certainly was. I mean, that marathon, it's an hour long.
Yep.
So everything can happen. It was, well, if we saw in that women's fleet, there were lots of moving around in that fleet and in the men's fleet, but it was different in the men's fleet actually as well. I mean, they were on exactly the same course, exactly the same time. They were like racing at the same time.
Yeah.
And that just shows, like in the women's course, it was all moving around, and then in the men's course, there was actually a strong leader throughout that course. Davis Mazes from Latvia. Yeah,
Davis Mazes, Latvia 29, just a commanding presence throughout the whole race yesterday, and he came and joined us in the booth yesterday afternoon. And like I said, he was just a smooth operator the whole time. He just was playing it cool. He wasn't looking behind him too much. He was just on his own mission, and we really saw that. And then, as you said, you know, you discuss away about the women, because as you said, there was a lot of chopping and changing for those kind of top 3 spots within the marathon race, wasn't there?
Yeah, no, there certainly were. I mean, after the first 2 days, we did have a standout leader, Adi Miller. But in that marathon race, we did see Marion Coutier really dominate that race. I mean, she had a bit of a attack from a teammate. Manon Pianazza. But I mean, by the end of the race, she had it, and she even did a little chop pop over the line.
She chop popped over the line, and you know, Marion Couturier, she's had a bit of a roller coaster of a week, hasn't she? So the day before yesterday, the day we ran the course racing, the top 5 that came in, they had their kit kind of checked over, and that was all her races from that day were discarded. So for her to come away with a win was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's super cool. And no, let's take a look at the highlights from yesterday.
Yeah, let's take a little look at some of those highlights.
Yet again, another dreamy day here at Lake Silverplana. We have both slalom and course racing under our belts, so do you know what time it is? It's marathon time! The intense endurance marathon completed, and it was mega. Winning the woman, Marion Coutier, having an absolutely amazing result.
I'm super happy about my day. I won the marathon, I won the first one. The marathon was super tricky. I'm super happy to have raced with the girls. With Manon, we had a super nice fight, and I'm happy to win finally the marathon here.
In the men, Davis Mazes, the Latvian, controlling the men's fleet.
I had to keep it cool all the time. Manolo was also chasing all the time because I knew my strength is downwind and reaching, so I usually got back.
Now we have the final series tomorrow, meaning that all the riders will be wanting to get into that top 10 for the medal series tomorrow. It's going to be amazing, so stick around.
And if you are just joining us, just look at that beautiful view of Lake Silverplana. We are here for the 2023 iQFOiL Under-21 World Championships and International Games. And what an unbelievable show we've had so far. And the action is not stopping. We are here for day 6, and it is all about the slalom today. As we said, we had some funky weather earlier this morning. Wind kind of on the light side, about 7 knots. But yeah, we are running the slalom as we get towards the medal series tomorrow to finish this out. And let's take a little chat. I had a chat with Gonzalo Costa-Hovel yesterday about how it is all going to work. So let's get some words in from Gonzalo. Gonzalo, we're coming into the business end of this event here at Lake Silverplana. Can you talk us through the plan for today and how that is going to affect the medal series for tomorrow?
Yeah, so today is the last day of the opening series. The top 10 will advance to the medal series tomorrow. We are planning to do some slalom in the morning and then some course racing in the afternoon. We want to be fair with everybody. There are some slalom experts, some course racing experts. At the moment, we have more course racing in with the marathon. So the first 3 races will be slalom and the last 2 will course racing. I think that's going to be really great last day. And the top 10, the best top 10 will enter the medal series for tomorrow, which is going to be really, really windy. So stay tuned for tomorrow. That's going to be great action.
All right, perfect. Stay tuned for the action.
Yeah, great to see what's on Gonzalo's mind, isn't it? Great
Absolutely.
to see and he was saying that we have the final series today and how important it is today. I mean, he did say the plan was to go for two slalom races and then 2 course races to really even out the playing field, as we have had both a really strong set of slalom results and a strong set of course racing paired with that marathon. But it's looking like a slight change of forecast today at the minute. We've got the slightly lighter winds. I mean, around 10 knots, but it's quite gusty up and down. I mean, usually here we have in Lake Silverplana, it works on the Maloya wind, which is a thermal wind. But we actually, as you can see on the screen at the minute, we have a lot of cloud today, which is affecting the wind quite a lot, actually. I mean, it's almost like when a cloud comes, the wind kind of drops off, and then when it brightens up again, it really does pick up. And it's interesting because different places throughout the lake, it does have different places, and that's what's so important with these tactical decisions today. And it's a really important day, as is the final series.
Yep.
And we have the medal races tomorrow. Extreme pressure on this race.
Yep.
The medal races tomorrow, we only have that top 10 going tomorrow. I mean, the majority of these riders today, it will be their last day. As I said, only the top 10 riders from from both men and women are going towards. I mean, this is the current rankings in the men so far. This is the top 10. This is most up-to-date top 10. We're seeing Gaspar Garfantin. I mean, only 7 points ahead. There's not much to go.
There's not, is it? He didn't really get the result he wanted yesterday in the marathon results, but I think it's counted towards one of his discards, so he's kind of thrown that away. Davis Mazes coming up into 3rd place, putting him in a really good standing for that medal series tomorrow.
Yeah, amazing result from Davis yesterday. As that marathon, we did have double points, which was great, and that moved him up into that podium position at the minute. But Max, so having a little chat with Max this morning. And he was really trying to put in a really great race, really great day, full set of races today, as he really wants to move into that top 3 and hopefully qualify straight into that semi-final for the medal races tomorrow.
Exactly, yeah. So that's a really good point you're making there. So the way the medal series works, from position 4 to 10 will be in that first quarterfinal race. So if he can jump up into 3rd place or even higher, he'll basically have to race even less tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the women's at the minute, we have in that qualifying straight to that semi-final, Sofia Meyer and Manon Piazza, and Adi Miller again taking the lead. I mean, at the start today, Sofia Meyer actually took the lead from Adi Miller,
which was a consistent performance from her.
Certainly was. I mean, super cool how Sofia's really come into her element at this competition. Moving down. I mean, Christina, she's lost 1 place at the minute, but for sure she is really at the top of her game. She's getting really good slalom races today.
Absolutely, yes. She came in. There was a bit of passion coming in from her earlier, kind of came in, and a little bit of anger. But sometimes it's nice to see that passion. You can see how much they actually care about this. And Kristina Pidisova, she's had a good event so far. Some kind of ups and downs, but she's always been within that kind of top 5 bracket. And as we said, just with Max Beeman there, the comment made there, she'll be looking to do that same thing and climb up into that kind of top 3 position, so that she won't have to do that quarterfinal. She'll be straight into the semi tomorrow. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, those top spots. I mean, because there's quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. Yep. The people in the semi-final, they already get a head start into those top 5 positions already. Yeah, absolutely. It just makes life easier, doesn't it? Essentially, exactly. it means you have to do one less race. You get to sit on the beach and watch who you're going to be up against, rather than have to be fighting for that position yourself. Yeah, no, that's it. But here in day 6 in the final series today. Looking at these conditions, I mean, it is 7 knots. It's extremely light. You can see them. I mean, how light that water is. I mean, there's slight rippling, but it's not that windy, is it? We're at the edge of potential, contestable conditions. I know earlier on, I think they were sort of up and down a bit, but equally they've managed to run some of the women's racing so far. So the current top 10 standings you saw there, they are fully up to date from the racing this morning, and now we are running the men's. As Rafa, you said earlier, Gonzalo and the rest of the race crew made the decision to not run the course racing because it's not windy enough, essentially. Yeah. So that's where we have this great slalom format coming in.
Yeah, no, and exactly. I mean, mean, we also saw the temperature there. It's around 18 degrees today, which is quite a drop throughout the week, actually. I mean, each in the week has been around mid-20s, really. It's been very, very warm, but today it's slightly dropped off, and especially with that wind, the wind's very chilly as well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, well, not unfortunately. I mean, it's still super warm. It's 20 degrees, isn't it? I mean, Henry Bloodworth, he was on the beach here, still in board shorts and no top. And he was saying, "Oh, okay, it's a little bit chilly today," but I mean, it's still beautiful, and the conditions are lovely. But yeah, we have the riders just lining up, ready for their start at the minute. But just waiting for the racing to get going. But yeah, as we were saying, this is the final series today, as we have the medal race series tomorrow, and it's going to be extremely tight battles everywhere. And let's see what's to come. Let's see what this day is all about.
Yeah.
The penultimate day of the Under-21 World Championships and International Games, and the pressure is on. Only the top 10 go through to those medal races tomorrow, so the riders are pushing extremely hard for those top 10 spots. In the women's fleet, Nela Sadilkova from Czech Republic is in that 11th spot, but only 1 point off that 10th spot. Nela, you're in 11th place. One good result today, and you're inside that insane top 10.
Yeah, I had a really good day yesterday, and I hopped into 11th place. So I'm hoping that today it will be good again for me. Obviously, I'm nervous, but I will try to still stay calm, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck for today.
Thank you.
In the men's fleet, Manolo Modena is currently in that 9th spot, so he does have a place at the minute, but he's only 1 point and on equal points with that 10th spot. The pressure is on today. How are you coping?
I'm just trying to do my best, sticking with doing simple things. I don't have to really make up anything that is not standard basis. Just race on the base of yesterday, which I did quite good and was quite constant and free with my mind, and just stick with that.
Sophia, you're currently leading the event. There's still pressure on though, right?
Yeah, I'm leading, and we're doing 5 races today, so it's going to be a difficult day. We're doing slalom and course races. I'm really excited, and yeah, you want to keep your first position, of course, because you advance in the final. And only need to race once, so yeah, I'm giving my everything today.
But inside that top 10, all the points are extremely close, meaning that anything can change, ready for those medal races tomorrow. Cool, blimey. The pressure is certainly on, isn't it? I mean, it's really cool to see just what's going through some of their heads. Some of the riders inside that top 10 and slightly outside of that top 10. I mean, we saw Nella there. She's in 11th place, only 1 point off. Only 1 point off that top 10. And what's going through their heads just must be mega. I mean, the pressure is unbelievable. The tension is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were discussing it earlier, weren't we? You know, that they are 11th is the hardest position to be in, because whilst you're doing extremely well and you're close, if you miss out, you're like, oh, I was so close, I was just there. But then you also said as well, actually, being in 10th is immensely stressful as well, because you could lose it at any second.
Yeah.
Your whole potential event result and everything is on the edge of a knife, isn't it?
No, that's the thing. I mean, with the medal races, anyone can win it.
But that's why it's so great,
when you're inside that top 10, you're secured.
Yeah.
You're secured. And that's why it's just so pressure. It's just mega pressure. Mega pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is, you know, so hard. And then looking up at the screen, as we see there, speaking of the pressure, it is coming on now as we come into 1 minute until the start of this slalom race. So conditions are looking a little bit light, but look at that view.
Yeah, I mean, that's sick. I mean, you can even those dark spots in the lake, you can see the clouds coming over, isn't
Absolutely,
it? Absolutely, so cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
There's definitely gusts out there as we see all the riders there. As we get towards the start, they are going to start building up that speed to get across that start line.
Yeah, I mean, with this start, they're going to be wanting to hit that reaching start. Well, first of all, slalom, what is it? It's a reaching start.
Yep.
to the first buoy. It's then a downwind and then followed by 2 last reaches. I mean, here, we're inside the last 30 seconds now. So for sure, majority of them are falling, really preparing to hit that start line at full speed.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So they're going to be going across the wind. So when we say a reaching start, they're across the wind, and then they will be going slalom-style downwind, round a series of buoys, and then back across the wind to finish. So
only not long to go. 5 seconds really coming up to the start. We see the rest of the fleet just watching them, but it's really, really close. Freddie Poloni down that bottom end, and it's looking like a good start so far, but we will get confirmation in a sec. But Freddie Poloni down that bottom end, down that pin end, still putting in those pumps, just cruising down this first reach. It looks as if he's taking an early lead.
Yeah, beautiful there. As you can see, as soon as he goes across the line, there's so much pumping going on. And especially in these lighter winds, it's also pumping the foil as well. Compressing their legs as well, getting as much speed as they can. And then once you've built up that speed, then they can kind of hook back in, lean back, try and relax a little bit, settle everything down before getting down to that first mark.
No, exactly. Here we are on our screens at the minute. France 1, France 379. He is our leader at the minute, Gaspard, but they've now rounded their first reaching mark and making their way downwind. But a lot of people, a big group actually making the jibe early on, which is interesting.
Yeah, really wide, coming out super wide there. I guess, getting as far downwind as they can, it's going to make life a little bit easier. This equipment, despite it being very light, it is still hard work to keep it up and going. As we see, a lot of the guys still sort of pumping to keep up on the foil there.
Yeah, but there we are. Freddie Poloni looks as if he has definitely taken a lead so far. Absolutely cruising down this downwind. He's actually on that Patrick board, slightly different to the other boards. Here in the iQFOiL, they can have licensed brands, which puts different graphics on the board, which does spice it all up, which is super cool. But Freddie Poloni putting in his first jibe. Now Gaspard Garfantin on our screen, really pushing down onto this on this downwind to his second mark.
Yeah, Gaspard Garfantin obviously in first place in the overall event standings at the moment, so he'll be looking to really maximise that and just maintain that lead throughout today. Yeah, so he is currently sitting in second. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you will see the sail numbers, the distance there. So the 0, that is the distance from the leader of the race.
Yeah.
So you can see Poland 21 in position 10 is 265 metres. Oh, it's changed already as we're discussing it. And you can see that's how fluid this slalom racing is. These races don't take very long. But yeah, they're always changing. And as we've discussed over the last few days, certain riders are more comfortable with certain race formats and certain aspects of the racing, whether it's jibing, straight line speed. Obviously in the course racing, you've also got the upwind element as well.
Yeah, but really bunched up at this end right now. In this little group here, we have Paul in front, just followed by Boris and then Val just behind him. But they are cranking down on this last reach, the last reach of this slalom race. Core blimey, Paul's just putting down the gas now. But Boris, just to the left of him, really trying to gain. Is he gaining?
He is gaining on him.
Looks as if he is. How much more have we got on this last reach? Is he going to be able to get it? Only maybe board lengths. He's coming down to... Oh, God, blimey.
That's the pack
Boris
coming through,
is actually gaining though, isn't he? Let's see if he will get it.
He's got the upwind element of him. Is he going to get past him?
God, blimey. But Paul, just he's savouring it though. Paul coming through the line, just taking that win over Boris. That's it. Even at this point, they're super, super close. We're seeing the speed on the left of our screen as well. They're doing mid-20s down this last leg.
Which is
full
incredible
power.
when you think that the current kind of live wind readings, 7, maybe in the gusts, 9 knots, something like that. And they're doing, at times they're, registering 22 to 24 knots. They're doing well over double the wind speed, almost triple the wind speed at some points.
It's amazing,
It's incredible when you think about that and how efficient this equipment is and how much these athletes can maximise and get every inch of power and speed out of it.
No, they certainly are. Here at the iQFOiL class, all the equipment is exactly the same. So every little gain possible, they will be trying to get. That's it. You're seeing the wind. If you're looking out at the wind right now and you're just normal windsurfing, it looks like the conditions aren't good. Go home, do some work.
Looks like paddleboarding weather.
Exactly. It is paddleboarding weather, pump foiling weather. But, all the lads here, the men's fleet out on this slalom course at the minute, this is super light, but they're putting in those pumps, and no doubt they're just going to get foiling straight away. It's creamy.
Absolutely. And to discuss the format a little bit further then, if you know, for any of you just joining us or if you're not too familiar with it. So with the course racing, it is the full men's fleet that will take part. Likewise with the marathon as well. With the slalom, they are split into groups or heats within each race. So that's why you've just seen one group there, and you can see on the screen now on the left-hand side there's kind of one group or heat, and they're kind of waiting for their turn. And as we see the guys a bit further up, when they're kind of getting up and foiling, getting ready.
Exactly. I mean, we have 58 men here in the Under-21 World Championships and International Games, and in the slalom we split it around 20 in each fleet. Yeah. There or thereabouts, depending on the number, just to keep the safety of it. I mean, this full power reach, and there's a lot of reaching, a lot of driving marks. I mean, if you have 60 riders going all around one
carnage,
mark, full power. I mean, there's carnage even with 20 riders in some times.
Well, yeah, and you see carnage on the start line of the course racing as well with the tacking, you know. But yeah, to minimise that, obviously, we want excitement. We don't want people actually getting injured. So yeah, that's the kind of format that the race crew decided on, isn't it? And I think it works pretty well, you know, especially with the kind of rolling starts and everything. It means that there's kind of constant action going on as well.
I mean, it is a extreme sport at the end of the day. I mean, there are a lot of risks involved with this. Yeah, I mean, they're going 25 knots. In 10 knots, super
That's
fast.
Incredible.
If you come off on that speed, I mean,
yeah,
it could go a bit fruity.
Especially on a foil.
Exactly. I mean, the foil on the bottom of their board, it's like blades almost.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's like an aeroplane, you know?
Yeah,
Aeroplane is super sharp, but I mean, luckily. I mean, when they do fall, it's well clear of that stuff. They just have a hard slam, like maybe 30 seconds of ooh, gonna hurts. But then they're straight back up on the board and just chilling again. Absolutely loving it.
Absolutely, and that's why you see all the riders. You know, they're all wearing helmets. They're wearing impact vests. They've obviously got their harnesses on. You know, everything like that. They are armoured up and ready to go.
No, they certainly are. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with all these. Well, it's rules now that you have to use the helmets, you have to use those impact vests. Yep. Also, sometimes you have to wear wetsuits depending on temperatures and stuff. I mean, here in Lake Silver Plana, super cold water, but I mean, it's still 20 degrees, so it's all right. But I mean, that's just to keep the overall safety of this sport.
Absolutely, as we get into just over 20 seconds to go until the start of this next men's slalom race here at Lake Silver Plana.
Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Here we go. As we see the riders, this is them slowly starting to get up onto their foils now.
Heat 2 coming up on this slalom course.
Trying to build
under
up
10 seconds.
Yeah, trying to build up as much speed as possible now so they can get across the line. With that maximum velocity.
Let's see who's sitting down that bottom end. Oh, 713, Duncan Monaghan. He has already won a race today, actually, but Leo Tomasini just above him, just to the left of him. He's actually in second place in the overall rankings. He's had a really good, well, he's been second place all week so far, and it's been extremely good. But here we are, Duncan Monaghan, putting down the gas on this first race.
24 knots he's doing
24 knots in 10 knots.
It's incredible.
Absolutely insane. But Leo Tomasini just above him. And then that is Daniel Tashtash, Israel 930 just above him as well. Top 4 coming into it, but Duncan Monaghan leading this race so far.
Yeah, and Daniel Tashtash sitting in that fated 11th place at the moment. So he will be looking, as you said, he's on that knife edge, isn't he? And hopefully he can deliver some good results today and get himself up into that medal series for tomorrow.
Certainly is, but Leo Tomasini putting in a very attacking move and actually coming out on top, taking that lead from Duncan Monaghan. Still putting in their massive pumps, trying to get as high, as deep downwind as possible, but still keeping that speed. I mean, they're absolutely cranking. Look at that.
Yeah. Again, with that thing, you know, maybe you can speak to this a little bit. You know, we talked a lot about it with the upwind racing, and there's that fine line between pointing too far upwind and losing your speed. There's kind of the same thing with going downwind, isn't there? You know, if you point too far downwind, you kind of start to lose the power in your sail a little bit. So whilst you want to get down to that mark as quickly as possible, you also need to have a certain element of staying on that broad reach to keep the speed up.
Certainly is. It's exactly the same principles as upwind and downwind, just going up the wind and then down the wind, really trying to get that balance between speed and angle downwind. But the top 3 in this race coming down to their second mark. A really tight battle from Duncan and Leo there, just out in front. It looks as if Daniel has taken that lead. Interesting stuff, but Leo taking that second place now. A little extended that lead a little bit from Duncan Monaghan, but for sure coming into their penultimate last mark coming up soon, Duncan will be attacking Leo and really trying to take that second spot again.
Absolutely, and Daniel Tashtash, we mentioned him earlier, currently sitting in that 11th place. Oh, and he goes down!
God blimey! No. Daniel hitting getting the drink. Oh, my days, good grief. But that has just let Leo Tomasini take the lead in this Heat 2 for the men here in this slalom course. And then in that second spot, Duncan Monaghan taking that second place.
Oh, that is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking for him. We were just discussing it. He really needed a good result, hopefully get himself into that 10th position, into the medal series, and he goes down on the jibe there. I don't know what happened. It looked like maybe one of the wings of his foil breached a little bit or something.
Maybe so. I mean, when it breaches, it does ventilate, take that water down and makes it become really uncontrollable.
Yeah.
But maybe that happened there. But Leo Tomasini taking that win. Really
Duncan
solid
Monaghan
result
as well
there.
with a really impressive performance there. As you said, coming off a win earlier today and coming away with a second there, that's going to really improve his position as well.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
He's currently already sitting in 7th, though, so he's quite safely within that top 10. But as we said earlier, if he can get himself a bit higher up, his life is going to be made much easier tomorrow as we look to finish this event in style.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the rest of the fleet coming through this now. I mean, there's a type out again from this these two here. I mean, still throughout these slalom races, throughout these heats, everyone will be pushing extremely hard, really trying to gain every spot as possible, because for the majority of these riders here on day 6, this will be their last day.
Absolutely, yeah. So as you said, going into the medal series, there will be 10 men and 10 women out of a total of 86 competitors that we have here. So yeah, only 20 of them go through. The other 66, they get to just this is the end of the line for them. And some people think that's ruthless, but I mean, a competition is a competition at the end of the day, isn't it?
No, that's it. I think the format that we do here at the iQFOiL is just, it's pretty awesome. I mean, sometimes it is savage, it is cutthroat, but it is just epic. And remember, if you have any questions, any comments, do let us know. Got one from Billy here. The apparent wind issue is interesting from a covering point of view. It must be difficult to overtake someone who is ahead of you, even though it's a downwind slalom. I mean, you've got it to a T there. There's so many tactics involved here. I mean, it's the covering aspect, because obviously if you're covered, you don't have that clean wind. I mean, here in Silverplana, you really want that clean wind. So it's just really positioning yourself well with that speed and with that angle, really trying to balance it all together and really come out on top at the end of the race.
Exactly. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the iQFOiL is a solo sport. You are by yourself, but equally, you've got to be aware of what everyone else is doing. As we take a look at the replays from that, Leo Tomasini there crossing the line.
Yeah, awesome. But that was Daniel Tashtash.
Heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking race for him. So this is the start here. So Duncan Monaghan with a really, really great start there.
Ooh,
and then
top end.
Leo Tomasini and Daniel Tashtash.
Oh, cool, blimey.
We missed that at the start, didn't we?
There, yeah, cool, blimey. But there we are, Duncan Monaghan. Yeah, he did have that lead early on in that race.
He did, yeah.
And then really attacking Leo and Daniel. I mean, this first downwind bit, that's where Leo
I was
really
just
took
about
the lead.
to say, yeah, it looks like there he managed to get a really deep angle there. Maybe he got a bit of a lucky gust or something. And there it is.
There's Daniel. I'm not too sure what happened there.
It looks like he just stepped off. I don't know.
See, I think he was extremely high on the foil and really cranking around. As you're really tilting that board, his front wing must have come out and then just lost all the lift and really just cranked down and then just hit the drink.
It literally, when that happens, it is like hitting an eject button, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a good one. But there we are, coming up under 10 seconds now to go for this Heat 3 here in the slalom.
Here we go as they come across that start line. So they want to be at max speed as they hit that line.
They certainly are really pumping down this first leg. God blimey, how speed is that? But again, down that bottom end, Stas, Poland 777, getting a pretty good start. Consistent lead on this first, but there we are. But down that bottom end, I mean, second from the bottom, but he's banged that start.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's also sitting in 10th position overall. So that other side of the knife edge, but a knife edge nonetheless. He's going to be wanting to really make a statement today as well and get himself comfortably within that top 10, because that is what it's all about today. We go into the last day of the qualifying series.
Yeah, I mean, we see Max Biedermann taking that second spot there. I was just looking at those speeds there, and he was almost a knot and a half faster than everyone else, and that has put him in a really good position here in that second spot. But Stas leading this race so far, putting in those pumps, but Max Beeman just above him, really trying to
right
attack
on top
him.
of him. Yeah, really putting the pressure on him there. Max Beeman, obviously, we've talked about him a lot at this event, coming off a bit of a foot injury at the start of the week, wasn't really sure how he was going to do, and he's now found himself on the last day of the qualifying in 3rd place overall, so he'll be really looking to as well capitalise on that.
There we are, Stanislaus Stas, absolutely really doing well in this race. Only 17 years of age in this under-21 World Championships, but that's not stopping him at all. Age is just a number as he goes for his drive down to his 2nd mark. Let's see if he makes this lay line.
Coming down here.
Yeah, there we are. Who's that? Putting in the jibe just before him, trying to, let's see who's
Israel
made this
16.
lay line down here.
Ido Pomerantz brings himself straight into 2nd position, just manages to cut Max Beeman up there.
That was a very good decision by
That
Ido
was
there,
amazing,
actually,
yeah.
wasn't it?
That was a really good manoeuvre.
Yeah, really good manoeuvre, taking his 2nd spot as he rounds that 2nd mark onto these 2 last drag races towards the finish. But these top 3, it looks like they have a bit of room. I mean, Stas in the lead so far, but let's hope he really makes this jibe nice and smooth. Not quite like Daniel, but that's it. Let's see how it is. Oh, there's still pressure, but Ido really putting on the gas, really attacking, but just not being able to get on the inside there. But he's going for that bottom line. Will he be able to get that speed? But the thing about the bottom line, Stas is now covering his win. But Ido really taking that bottom leg. Will he be able to go faster, go downwind, and really come out on top in this race? But it's coming extremely close now. Ido, cool blimey, is he going to take it? Israel's 16, but Stas just to above him. He will be covering him now. Not much at all. Maybe only a board length. If you look at this is the basically this line here, who's in front, and we can see, Ido might be gaining here. Stas just up to above him, coming up to this finish line now. They're both bumping, trying to make this finish. Who's going to get it?
That's too close. We can't call that. I don't know who that was. Who that was there. I mean, Ido Pomerantz currently sitting in 18th, so he's kind of got that do-or-die attitude. He's not really got much to lose sitting in 18th, so he needs to just put pedal to the metal and try and come out of this as well as he can, and that was kind of the vibe I got from watching him race there. Yeah, just nothing to lose. Max Beeman coming into 3rd there as well, so another great race from him.
Coming up to the replay of that race, of this Heat 3 that we've just completed. Stas, again, taking that early lead, probably having the best start out of everyone.
Yeah, great start there from Stas, and then we're just waiting for confirmation as to who went over the line first, whether it was him or Ido. But either way, super close racing there. Yeah, just Ido with that was a really impressive manoeuvre from him.
There it is.
This one here, yeah.
He really tried to attack there. He really tried to attack. I mean, it wasn't the smoothest thing. Japan just taking the drink there, taking a little explosion. But yeah, Ido and Stas, who got that? That was a very close call there.
All we can do here is speculate, my friend. Let's wait and see what the judges deemed there. As you can see, that the top end of it, it looks like Ido was the first over the line there,
taking the dub, clutching that up. What a race from Ido there! What an absolute race. But so this is according to the GPS, not actually official, but as we saw, it was a complete photo finish.
He did go super broad down towards it and came down right past the pin end at the bottom of the finish line as well. So he may have got that extra bit of speed, and he may have gone past it just as Stas was much closer to that top end to the committee boat, wasn't he? So it would be very interesting to see which one won. And Davis Mazeus as well coming into 4th there. So maintaining that consistent performance, coming off winning the marathon race yesterday as well.
Yeah, I mean, Davis Mazeus coming in today in that in a really good position, really trying to be in a good position for those medal races tomorrow. For sure, he will be wanting to really stay and keep inside, break into that top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, as we said, if you can get into that top 3, it's going to make your life a lot easier in the medal series because you do get to miss out on that quarterfinal.
No, you certainly do. You certainly do. But yes, if you're tuning in on Facebook or on YouTube, do leave us a little comment. Tell us how your day's going. How the iQFOiL Under-21 World Championships has enlightened it. I mean, this is absolutely amazing footage we're going on here. Really following the races. Oh, there we are. There's the race crew. Just having a little bite to eat. That's Emilio. What a lad in the red coat.
Looks a bit chilly out there. I think we definitely won sitting here on the land in our booth watching all the action.
Certainly, just a tiny bit on the chilly side, but that's it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's still 20 degrees, but when the sun goes away, then it's chilly. When it's clouds out, it gets a bit nippy, nippy indeed.
Absolutely. As we see Daniel Tashtash there having a bit of a discussion with the committee boat. If you're just joining us, we are running the slalom for the men's fleet. And the way it works for the slalom, we divide the fleet up into groups. Or heats of usually around 20 riders. I think we've got 58 men all in all. So as you can see, the beautiful view there of Silver Planet. There is some wind. There is some wind blowing down the lake there, but it is not windy enough for us to run the course racing, which was the original plan for today. We were going to do a mixture of slalom and course racing, but because the wind hasn't filled in above that kind of 10 knot mark, we have opted to just run more slalom races instead, which is okay actually, because we did slalom on the first day, and then we ran a full set of course racing. We did more course racing yesterday before that big marathon race. So actually, I don't mind watching a bit more slalom today.
No, yeah, I mean, it all adds different aspects to iQFOiL. I mean, we do a lot of formats. Slalom, course racing, and that marathon. I mean, and slalom. It's really amazing to watch. Super, super cool as we come up to the live conditions at the minute. Again, under 10 knots. I mean, the speeds that they're going, mid-20 knots in under 10 knots. That's just incredible. I mean, they're sometimes 3 times, well, I mean, literally consistently 3 times the wind speed.
I think the race before last, Daniel Tashtash, as he was coming down to that mark where he jibed and then fell in, I think at one point it crossed 27 knots on his tracking. So he hit 27 knots in 7 knots of wind.
That's a bit of engineering,
it's
isn't it?
Incredible. Yeah.
Bit of engineering and also an elite level of
athleticism.
Skill.
Yeah, athleticism, skill, engineering. It comes down to everything. So yeah, if you're unsure, everyone's equipment is exactly the same. There is nothing different, and that is very much scrutinized by the technical crew as well. They will be inspecting your equipment, whether it's your harness, your helmet, everything you're wearing, up to your board, sail, mast, boom, foil. Everything is checked.
Exactly.
An awful lot before you get on the water to make sure that everyone is on a completely level playing field.
Exactly. It is a one design class which really focuses the gains and the athleticism of the athletes, really trying to get the best racer out there on the course, and it's amazing. I mean, it's cool to see everyone on exactly the same kit, and knowing that it really is just a rider who is the best overall athlete at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And there must be a certain level of satisfaction there, knowing that everybody is on the exactly the same gear. And when you do win, and whether it's a slalom race or the marathon yesterday, anything, when you win, you know that victory is yours. It's not like, oh well, I had better equipment than the other guy or anything like that.
Yeah, as we go to the replays of this race where Leo Tomasini, this is Freddie down the bottom actually. This is Freddie down the bottom, getting a really good start. It's looking as if today the starts at that bottom pin end have been the best so far. I mean, Freddie Poloni having a really good race there and having a great start.
It's interesting tactically, isn't it? Because obviously we've seen it today. The guys at the bottom end, the pin end of that start, generally they've been leading the race. Obviously they've already got a lot further downwind. Have you found is that something that tends to happen all the time with the slalom, or does it depend on the kind of conditions or location?
It's all thinking at the end of the day. It's all about that pre-start routine. I mean, especially on a reaching start, there's a lot of risk involved. If you go down that pin end and you get rolled by someone, if someone goes faster, there's that
jibe crash.
God, blimey, he just lets it go, doesn't he? Oh, that's unlucky. That's unlucky from Daniel Tashtash winning that. Well, he was in the lead there, but just hitting the drink, unfortunately. But yeah, there we have that start. Down the bottom end, it's quite risky actually, because if someone comes over the top of you, if someone has the speed, they cover you and give you dirty wind.
Yeah.
So you're not as clean and you're not as fast basically overall.
Exactly.
But if you're fast down that bottom end, sometimes it's the closest, it's the shortest course.
Exactly. You've already covered X amount of ground. It's a large start line, isn't it? So you've already covered that ground, but equally, like you said, you're going to get that dirty wind. So it's a toss-up, I suppose. It's a bit of a gamble, much like any of the tactics throughout all of the racing. You've just got to kind of work with what you're comfortable with. Certain riders will perhaps be a bit more comfortable. If a guy covers me and I lose a bit of wind, actually I know that I'm confident because I'm all the way down here and ahead, whereas some other guys will perhaps go, nah, I prefer having a bit more stable wind, and I'll make up the ground later on.
Yeah. I mean, another thing to think about actually with these startings, if you want to start in the middle of the edge, basically if you start in the middle, you kind of has to guess.
Yep.
You have to really have a sense of where that line is. But if you start down one end, you have a buoy. Like if you go straight past a buoy, one of those mark, that orange mark, you kind of have a really good idea of where that start line is. You have a better idea the closer you are to the marker of that start line.
Yeah.
So maybe
absolutely.
down that bottom end, you can have a more crispy start and hitting that 0 seconds, well, the go at 0 seconds.
Exactly. And likewise at the other side of the race, the finish as well. We saw Ido Pomerantz come down and really went super broad and came down at the pin end of the finish line and managed to just get in front of Stas as well.
That was mega, wasn't it? I mean, he really had a attacking move on there. Really, really tried to bang it out, get full speed, go for that lower down, like the lower angle, because kind of the lower angle, I mean, sometimes you can have a little more speed, and exactly there we witnessed he had a little more speed and just pipping that race from stage there.
Absolutely. It was a nothing to lose maneuver, wasn't it? That entire race was a nothing to lose, and that's what we like to see, and that's what we probably will see more of as we get into the rest of the slalom today. It's kind of the end of the week. As you said, a lot of these riders, this is the end of their racing. Only 10 riders from each fleet, the men and the women's, will be going through as we get to 10 seconds left till the start of this men's slalom race.
Around 5 seconds to go. Heat A for the men coming up. Super light wins. Oh, it looks as if some of them are a bit early, but that was extremely close. Some people actually stopping on the line because they had to really put up the brakes on that. But could that be Freddie Poloni having another really good start down that bottom end? That was hard.
Is that a general recall?
Some people are turning around. I think that could mean, a lot of them are stopping now.
Yeah.
I think that could be a general recall. Was someone over the start line?
Yeah, it looks like so. For those of you who are unsure, general recall, basically there on the start line, someone will have gone over early. So before the go, someone went over the line early. When that happens, they will do a general recall. All the sailors will have to go back, and they will essentially restart that countdown until the start of the race. And the person who went over the line, they're in a bit of trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, unfortunately, the people who are over the line, basically all the riders stop, and then they go back to that committee boat.
Yep.
They have a look on the committee boat. On the committee boat, they write on the whiteboard the numbers of the people who were over the start line.
Yep.
Those riders see that number, and unfortunately, they are out of that race, and they are disqualified on that race. But there we are. We can see a lot of them putting up the brakes on that start extremely close. All of them were early. That's the thing with these starts. If someone's early, everyone wants to really follow them to try and get like a decent start as well, because it's kind of all going with the bandwagon. But then in this spot,
especially like Italy 286 went over the line first, I think. So at the bottom at that pin end. But let's wait and see. As you can see, as Rafa just mentioned, that is all the riders are around the kind of committee boat there, and they're just having a little bit of a discussion.
There's that dreaded whiteboard. There's that dreaded whiteboard.
Can we have a look as well?
Ooh,
yeah, I think that's Italy 286, the one I said.
No, that is Freddie Poloni. Oh no, he's putting up his hand. He's not happy.
Bit of a protest there from
And then
Freddie.
just behind him, France 1. That is Paul Napoleone. Unfortunately, those two are over the start. Of course, they're not very happy about it, and they're disqualified from that race.
They're going to be extremely frustrated with that. We've got a couple of comments quickly on YouTube while these guys restart this. Where is this? We are at Lake Silvaplana here in Switzerland. Beautiful location in the mountains, 1,800 meters above sea level, and we are windsurfing. It might be hard to believe, but yeah, it's a beautiful spot and ideal wind conditions. We get this Maloya thermal wind in the summer, and that allows us to be able to run all these iQFOiL racing in just incredible scenery in the background, as you can see there from the drone footage. And then we've got a bit of a technical question, again, coming from Billy1996. If the rider is doing 25 knots in 10 knots of true wind, then the position of the dirty wind must change.
It must change. Interesting question. I mean, yes, it does change. It's basically the position of that dirty wind, because obviously if like you're going slower, the dirty wind is going to be more directly down from you.
Yeah, exactly.
But then also the dirty wind, when you're going faster, is going to be a bit behind you. But I mean, it's a hard one really. It's all about those aerodynamics. I mean, when you're going slightly faster, you have a little less dirty wind.
Well, it's essentially windsurfing is all run on apparent wind, and that's what allows us to be able to go faster than the true wind, isn't it?
Exactly. And the faster you go, the more that apparent wind turns round.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like when you stick your, if you stick your hand out of a car going at 60 miles an hour, that essentially is apparent wind.
No, exactly.
You've created that wind. So yeah, that's I suppose. Equally, that's a very technical question, Billy.
Yeah, no, that's an extremely technical one. I mean, for sure, the further you go away from someone as well, like if they're directly covering you, but for example, that distance is 10 meters, that's going to be completely different to, say, 30 meters.
Yeah.
It's going to have much less of an impact. And equally, if you're right on their backside, it's going to be really dirty wind, proper dirty wind.
Exactly, and that's further to the point of what you were saying earlier about that's where the tactics come in. Of do you start further downwind, especially for that start line where there is going to be a lot more dirty wind, or do you start a bit further up the pin end? Sure, you've got a bit more course to get down, but equally you've got that clean wind and you can maximise your chances of getting that apparent wind going and getting up to that kind of 25 knot speed.
Yeah, no, super high speeds. I mean, we can still see. I mean, it's gusty up this end, isn't it? You can see basically how you can see the gust. The darker patches over the water, that's strong wind, and in the lighter patches, it's less wind. So as we can see, there's a lot of differences there. Some's darker, some's lighter. It's quite gusty up this top end, but still under 10 knots. It's super light winds, but these iQFOiL racers are still managing to race extremely hard.
Yeah, I mean, making the most of it. It's been such a point of discussion today is just how efficient this equipment is. And it's worth noting as well that they will be on this equipment from these kind of conditions, sort of 7 knots, all the way up to it could be blowing 30 knots. They will still be on these sails. For those of you wondering, it is a 9 square metre sail. So sails are measured in square metres. So the men race on 9 square metres, the women race on 8 square metres.
Yeah, I mean, as Sandy said, it really is around under 10 knots to 30 plus knots, and it's exactly the same equipment. But the thing is, with this equipment, you can tune it slightly. You can change the shape of the sail slightly. You can change the angles on the foil to maybe have a bit more of a powerful foil, bit less of a powerful foil, more powerful sail, less powerful sail, and it's really finding those balances again. All about balance. The balances between power and control, really, because obviously if you have tons and tons of power, you're not going to have any control and you're not going to go fast. But if you have a load of control and no power, again, it's just going to be fairly sluggish. So it's really finding that balance between power and control.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just about finding what's most efficient, and because this stuff all is essentially one design and things. Each rider will have a certain preference, I imagine. Obviously, there are things that will be more efficient than others, but some riders will kind of figure out ways that they like doing things. And as we said, it also comes down to technique. Some riders are far more confident heading upwind. Some more riders are far more confident with that straight line speed. Some riders are actually, it's the jibe mark where I can really make a difference. Like we saw with Ido earlier, Ido Pomerantz, the rider from Israel, being super aggressive on that jibe mark. I imagine some of the other riders are perhaps not as confident with that jibe, and they go, right, in a straight line drag race, I'm gonna have you,
Yeah, no, there's a balance to it all. Again, some people have their strengths, some people have their weaknesses, and it's all about that balance, really. But I mean, here at the minute, here in the final series, here on day 6 at the Under-21 World Championships and iQFOiL Games, it is slalom conditions. I mean, we're coming up to the 2-minute mark for this heat being redone, because unfortunately they already had one start, but it was a general recall, meaning that meaning that someone was over the start, and in this circumstance, 2 people were over the start. Two big names, actually. Freddy Poloni, Italy 286 from Israel. From Italy, my bad. He came into this competition actually being extremely ill. He didn't have much training at all, and each day I'm saying, oh, what's your percentage like today? And he's like, 30, 40, 50%. I mean, he's still not at 100%, but he's still doing extremely well. For sure, he's now come back a bit. He's getting towards that full potential, but unfortunately he was over that start, and Paul Napoleone, unfortunately, over that start as well. But coming up to the 1-minute mark now for this heat 8 in the men for here on day 6. Coming up to that 1-minute mark.
Yeah, and Paul Napoleone, France won, sitting in 23rd overall, and then Freddy Poloni in 16th. So again, they're in that kind of position where they don't necessarily have anything to lose. But equally, they'll still be looking to improve on their standings. So frustrating nonetheless. And you could see, we saw Freddy Poloni kind of waving his arm and getting a bit frustrated with the judges. And it's good to see those passions flaring a little bit. Obviously, easy for us to say that because we're not the judges getting shouted at.
Right.
But these guys are hugely passionate and hugely serious about what they're doing here, and they want to get that best result, irregardless of whether it'll put them in the medal series or not. Every single race is there to be won.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. But that has also opened up a bit of a chance in this race for all the other riders, as we have two big riders out of this race, but they're coming up to around nearly 10 seconds to go from this start. Oh, they're actually being quite conservative.
Yeah,
it
I was
looks
just
like.
about to say
quite
they are.
conservative, as they saw both Freddie and Paul going over that start, so they're going to be wanting. None of them are black flag, but down that bottom end, it looks like Ido putting on the gas. Is he taking that lead so far? The three strong Israelis there. Daniel is in there, Ido is in there, and Israel 257 absolutely cranking down this first reach. But again, down that bottom end, Ido looking
an all-Israeli top three. Yeah, look, 27 knots there for Israel 930 Daniel Tashtash, 27.9. Yeah, some incredible speeds. Oh, someone goes down.
Oh, God blimey, they're pushing extremely hard,
Busy
on this
jibe
first
mark
race.
there. Busy jibe mark as they come in tight. Actually decide to go past a little bit, head down a little bit longer, right to the edge of the lake. Someone else goes down on the jibe.
Someone going down on that
Chaos at the mark.
Yeah, that's it. At that jibe mark, it is chaos, because that is where it's extremely important, really trying to keep the equipment foiling throughout that jibe.
Daniel Tashtash with a really confident lead there, opting for that again, staying super deep down towards this side of the lake.
Exactly. He jibed late. He really banged that left side, and hopefully he will come out on top. I mean, we saw the race before. He was winning. He had a confident lead, but on that last mark, unfortunately, he did go down. So for sure, he is at the top of this race here, but he's going to be wanting to keep it really safe and really finish high in this race so far.
It looks like he's taking a really similar line to the one that Ido Pomerantz took in the last one. So maybe he saw his countryman do that and went, I'm going to give that a little shot. And it seems to be working for him, although it looks like he's dipped down into third. But equally, as the guys cross over and jibe, those positions are going to change quite significantly.
But Daniel Tashtash taking the lead so far in this race by 50 meters, followed by his Israeli teammates, both Ido and Gur. But coming down to their second mark, following two last full power reaches. Daniel just rounding that mark in first place in this slalom heat, followed by Ido, then the Gur, Israel 257, and then Gaspar Carfantan in that fourth place. For sure, he'll be wanting to really push hard on these last two drag race reaches and really push into the top three position in this heat.
Let's see how Daniel Tashtash does. He pulls off that jibe, that last jibe mark that he's just completed. That's the one that stumped him last time. So it's nice that he managed to get past that. And we're seeing a bit of that resilience there that we saw from Marion Couturier yesterday, coming off a difficult day in the course racing, being essentially disqualified, given a penalty for her equipment, and then came back to win the marathon yesterday. Just that level of resilience these athletes has, and it looks like Daniel Tashtash has brushed his last result aside from the last slalom race where he fell in on the jibe mark, and is now looks like he's going to be carrying away with adding a bullet to his event.
They receive that second and third place here, both Israelis, Gur and Ido. Gur just taking that bottom leg. Will he be able to get it? Oh no, he's put on off the gas. Oh, very interesting.
Oh, towards
that last 20 meters, he did take off the gas a little bit. It looks as if he was gaining to get that second place, but both top three positions from Israel, Gur, Ido and Daniel.
The Israeli team putting in a really strong performance there. As someone goes down over the finish line. At least he saved it to the end there. It's better to do it after the finish than before the finish.
That's it. I mean, after that finish, God, that's a big, maybe Ian taking an extra little spot there, but good stuff. I mean, after this finish line, for sure, the pressure just completely lets off. I mean, This is a super short race, this slalom racing, really, really short. And it's full power for that all race. But Daniel Tashtash, Israeli team, taking all three spots. Daniel in the lead, having a really consistent lead there, actually. I mean, in the race before, he did unfortunately take a drink, go for a little swim. But he's straight back in it and winning that race, followed by Ido Pomerantz and Gur in that third place, followed by Gaspard in that fourth position. He's actually come in today. He's had a really strong week so far, leading the most of it.
Yeah, he's been pretty much in at least the top 3 for the entire time. You know, a really consistent performance across everything. Didn't have a great marathon race, but yeah, he is going to be looking to do well as we look at the replays from this race.
Oh, absolute smash right round the front, and another one. God blimey.
And then round the jibe mark, catching a rail on that jibe. Oh, straight out the front door.
Oh, mate, it was that Duncan Monaghan. Oh, taking another big smash, but
Yeah.
God blimey.
Daniel Tash there with a great, refresh button there, hitting that reset, taking a win there in that slalom race after going down on a jibe in his last race. He should be, as I said, hit the refresh, and he's ready to go again and ready to bring himself hopefully back up that ranking. As I said, he's in that fated 11th position. So if he can have a good day today, he may well find himself in the medal series tomorrow, which is where every rider wants to find themselves. And like I said earlier, he's on that knife edge at the moment. So yeah, if he can have a good day today, potentially he's going to find himself back up into that 10th position at the end of today.
The pressure is really on for everyone today. I mean, as you said, we have the medal series tomorrow. Top 10 from both men and women only race tomorrow to really find that to find our champions. Anyone inside that top 10 can become the under-21 World Championship, the world champion. But also everyone else, it could be their last day. I mean, so everyone is pushing extremely, extremely hard in these slalom conditions here on Lake Silverplana, but coming up just less than 30 seconds to go for this Heat B. Who will be winning this race?
Ooh, we don't know. Let's wait and see. But yeah, as we get down into it, it looks like a load of cloud has come over. And actually, dare I say, this is contradicting what we said earlier. It looks like the wind has maybe picked up a little bit. Maybe it's just because the cloud has come over, we can see more white horses. But there wasn't as much pumping going on in that slalom race there. Potentially, it may have picked up a couple of knots, and there was a lot more kind of cruising as we get to the start line. And there we go. We're over.
I mean, another absolutely a very reserved start there. I mean, not everyone, kind of a lot of people slowing up on that start to really.
Hungary goes down. Oh no! And again.
Oh, blimey, it's windy.
Nearly a third. That was a big gust.
Also having a little moment there, but it looks as if Leo Tomasini taking the lead. Oh, it's extremely close. Foul just to below him, and also Manolo Modena. Oh, top 3, top 4 positions here. Extremely close. Coming into this first reaching mark. Oh. But both Italians taking the first 2 spots, Freddy and also top 3 all putting in their jibes now. Slovenia 31, Val taking a really, really attacking move there, but it looks as if Leo Tomasini taking the lead in this race so far.
Val,
but it's
though, looks like he's
extremely
coming
close,
down.
top 3, extremely close so far. Freddy down that bottom end. Oh no, Leo down that bottom end, really putting in their pump to try and cement this lead that he's got so far in this race.
Yeah, Val Ertzen with a really impressive rounding of that jibe mark there, putting himself straight into second place. Actually, he's kind of ahead of the pack, but he's not as far downwind
I mean, he's had
as
a
Leo
really good
Tomasini.
second leg. Really good second leg here in this downwind. I mean, it looks, he's moved up into second place and really attacking Leo in this first
he's not taking any prisoners.
Val taking the jibe just before Leo, closely followed by Leo, though, really trying to cement his place, really trying to back off Val, but Val
looks like he's coming to a bit of a lull.
Val putting in some mega pumps, really trying to go.
He's battling him.
Val and Leo Tomasini first and second place. Val, just taking the lead over
Val
Leo.
into first.
Oh, God blimey, where's this penultimate, this second mark? But Val, what a move from there.
16 years of age. Are we going to see a bullet?
Wow. Amazing
Straight
stuff.
round.
He really needs a good day to hopefully move inside that top 10. But wow, he has really extended his lead there. An absolutely amazing attacking downwind leg here from Val. For sure, he'll be wanting to just keep his place here
Keep that cool round this
race.
jibe mark.
How's the jibe? We did see some leaders really slipping up here.
There
but
it is.
all
Beautiful
smooth.
jibe.
All smooth from Val here. Val Erzen closely followed by both Italians. Leo Tomasini and also Manolo Modena. A little bit of a distance from that third place position, but Val just cranking down this last reach.
Keep it on this
Absolute
reach.
drag race towards this finish.
Yeah, keeping it on this reach, sitting in 13th overall. So if he can come away with a good day today, he could well see himself within that top 10 as we move into the medal series tomorrow. And it looks like he is going to be crossing the line. I don't want to jinx it.
Oh, it's all power towards. Oh, it's still sketchy. He's
like
looking
that wind has
having a
picked up
little
a bit
look behind him to see how he's going. But Val taking the win. Go Val, top lad. Closely followed by Leo and then Manolo finishing that top 3 place, but a big battle from 3rd and 4th here. Looks as if Stas taking that win. Oh!
What a great result there for Val Ertsen.
Just having a moment at the end of that race, Hispania 339, and the rest of the fleet following those top spots and finishing their race, their slalom race here in Lake Silvaplana.
Incredible result there for Val Ertsen. If you heard that noise there, that was his dad and sister standing outside the booth with a big whoop and a big shout, and then they've run off down the beach. Yeah, a real family affair. Yeah, Val's sister Lena also competing on the women's side as well. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to do a bit of research, but I think I'll have to look. Is that Val's first race win? We'll have to have a look.
But for sure, he will be really loving that race.
16 years of age. 16 years of age to come away with a race win on the last day of the qualifying series for the slalom here. Yeah, he is going to be absolutely buzzing after that.
Buzzing race. I mean, he did it absolutely
It's
perfectly.
style.
We saw that downwind. How amazing was that?
Yeah.
Absolute tactical expertise going on.
That was incredible. There's some real good decisions made, and at that age as well, only 16 years old. Yeah, he's going to be really pleased with that. Leo Tomasini, though, I mean, you know, he was not letting him do it, but yeah, Val was really put the pressure on him after that jive, didn't he? There was a really good little battle going on between them. Yeah, awesome stuff to see there from Val Ertsen, the young Slovenian rider. Yeah, look, and there we see the live conditions. We're up to 15 knots, so the wind has essentially doubled in strength. And we thought that, didn't we?
Yeah.
As we saw a couple of the riders, you know, there's been a few catapults going on as we take a look at the replay of this race. So yeah, quite a conservative start again. As we see Hungary 183 there, and he went down.
Going down, and this top reach. Oh, another one going down. Unfortunately, Duncan Monaghan taking a drink there as well. A little explosion going on there, but here we come to that amazing downwind. Absolute expert from Val.
There's Val there, yeah, upwind of everyone else, and just managed to pump past. Whoa, chaos there. It was here that Val managed to do it, and then rounding that next mark. Absolute textbook there.
That was the position,
Yeah.
but it's not that jibe. He really here is exactly where he really puts on the gas, really tries and gets that lead, and so he did onto this last reach that we're seeing here.
Yeah, incredible work there from Val Ertsen. Yeah, super impressive.
Wow, that was really impressive.
Really stoked for him as well. Yeah, Val, you know, fairly new-ish to the IQ foiling as well. You know, originally, you know, also great at the kind of freestyle windsurfing as well, and now coming into this discipline. So yeah, he's going to be really excited and really pleased. And like we said, his family ran off down the beach just there. They were, you know, watching along with us here. Yeah, really great to see there. As I said, the passion. That's what we love seeing.
Certainly is. As we're coming up to one of the next slalom races of the day. But that was an amazing race. But yeah, that's a little thing that you touched on actually. People from different backgrounds. We saw Val. He's come from a freestyle background. He's done a lot of freestyle windsurfing.
Yeah, but that
freestyle foiling as well.
Yeah, freestyle foiling. I think, you know, potentially coming from that background, it just gives him so much sail control, which is what we saw there. And potentially that's what we were saying earlier about the, you know, some riders are more confident with other aspects. His jibing was absolutely on point there. He's so comfortable moving around with a board, and, you know, moving around on a board with a sail in his hands, and that potentially comes from that kind of background. As we see Davis Mazeus on camera there, picking up some real speed.
It's windy. Davis Mazeus just taking the toilet position. He's absolutely cranked down, wearing that red bid for today. Could this be a race?
Just wait for...
Okay, but yeah, it's looking as if there's some
real breeze out there now, isn't there? You know, looking out of our window here, it does look like the wind's picked up. The cloud has come over. Sadly, we do not have any more of that beautiful sun here in Switzerland, but the most important thing that we have is wind.
Yeah, sun's gone, but wind's still gone. I mean, we're looking at Zavis absolutely cranking down his downwind now. He's still got his arms out. He's just cruising along, even with the shades on. He's just styling out, really cruising down this downwind.
The smooth operator himself, coming off a great win at the marathon race yesterday, sitting in 4th overall, as we look like, yes, we are in this race here. Davis Mazeus leading this race, 26 knots he's hitting at the moment. Obviously that wind has picked up a little bit. So yeah, Davis Mazeus looking to make another bit of a statement after a great day yesterday.
Putting in his job, but there he is in first place again. Oh, got a lot of speed over the rest of the pack actually, but
does,
just going into that giant.
Well ahead. So you can see in the middle of that kind of information on the left-hand side of the screen, he is just over 50 meters ahead of Spain 335 in position 2. So yeah, quite a commanding lead over the rest of the fleet.
That's it. But it looks as if a few of those top riders in this fleet at the minute have underlaid that mark, going for another jibe. But rounding now, but it looks definitely Davis Mazay's top 3 positions here do have a bit of room to the rest of that pack, but that 4th place looked like there was an extreme battle going on. Really smooth and safe jibe from Davis Mazay's there. Really expert stuff going on there, closely followed by one of the Spanish just behind him.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, it's his race to lose at this point. It's not like he's not got anyone breathing down his neck at the moment, does he? It's essentially just a drag race to the end there. And it looks like, he will come away with a win for this race.
Little wave to the camera. He's just swagging out.
He's chilling,
Giving the old shaka. Giving the old shaka. Where's that finish line, though? Hopefully he can win this race. Which race I'm really move him up. Well, he's wearing that red bib. He will be in the 3rd place position coming into today, but where is that finish? He's just swagging out. He's
there
just loving it.
Straight over the finish line, chilled out, ready to go again.
But in that 2nd place position, I'm pretty sure that is Bernat, and then France 39 in that 3rd position, finishing off that top 3.
A great result for Bernat as well, who's sitting in 5th position. So like we discussed, if he can get himself up into that top 3, his life is going to start looking a lot easier once we get to the medal series tomorrow as well. Obviously, the way the medal series works, it will be the top 10 from each fleet will go through, and then the quarterfinal will be sailed with positions 4 to 10, and then the top 2 of that will advance through. So if you can get yourself into that top 3, life is going to be a lot easier for you.
But that's it. My mistake. It was actually Oscar Casas taking the 2nd place in that race. Oh no.
Oh, sorry. Yes, 335, not 3. No, 339. Yeah, Bernat. Yeah.
Well, no, I thought it was. Yeah, Bernat.
Yeah.
But yeah. Davis taking that win in that race. Another really solid performance. He did win that marathon yesterday, absolutely clutching up, just in the lead the whole time, just cruising out. And even at the end of that race, he gave us a little shaka just to let us know that he is loving life.
Let us know that he's still enjoying himself out there. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he seems very level-headed, Davis Mazayas, which, considering he's still only 18 years old, that's going to bode very well for him in his kind of professional career, isn't it?
No, it certainly is. But we're seeing inside that top 10 a lot of Spanish riders. They have a very strong team here, and a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of them, and they're all very, very, very good. Yeah, and that's an interesting point to be made as well. We have talked about it throughout the week. There are some nations with only one rider, Davis Mazayas,
exactly.
The only rider from Latvia, and then you've got kind of Spain and Poland and France, where you're seeing quite a few riders, both in the men's and women's fleets, and they kind of all hang out together. They're training together, everything like that. And there's kind of I think there's advantages and disadvantages of both. Maybe sometimes you feel a bit more pressure if you're the only athlete from a country. But equally, if you're part of a team, again, you feel pressure to perform within that team. So it's kind of hard, I guess there's always pressure, but coming from different places, and it depends where you can actually apply that pressure is how you're going to be successful.
That's it. I mean, as you said, everyone does have their strengths and weaknesses on the course. I mean, we have lots of types of courses here at iQFOiL. We have a range to really get the best overall athlete, and it's really showing here at the here in Silverplana for the U21 World Championships. We have every course every course format so far. I mean, we've had had a lot of course racing, a lot of slalom that we're doing here at the minute. We completed the marathon yesterday, and we also have the medal races tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've managed to complete it, and that's the idea behind the iQFOiL. We do have these different race formats to give every rider a kind of fair chance, because some riders will be better at certain formats than others. As we take a look at the broader view of Lake Silverplana, looking very moody now.
Yeah, it's get a bit grumpy, isn't it? Cool, blimey. There we are. I mean, there's a load of clouds in the sky. I mean, I don't see any blue in the sky. I see a lot of blue in the water, which is dreamy little watercolour going on there. But
looking like an extremely different place to even 2 or 3 hours ago, as we see the live conditions there. Wind has come up to around 15 knots. About kind of half an hour, 40 minutes ago, it was sitting at around 7 knots. So that cloud has come over and really accelerated the wind, which is, as I said, contradictory to what we said earlier. I mean, generally, you need the sun to get that kind of thermal wind.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, here when we're like It's determined by weather, really. I mean, anything can happen with weather. I mean, it can be on and off and do weird things, and this is what happened today. It's slightly done something that we haven't known, but it's turned out absolutely amazing. I mean, 15 knots for slalom. We have full power slalom conditions at the minute as we're coming up to the 15 seconds. I mean, the this course start, the stop clock isn't completely accurate, but it does give us a really good idea as we're coming up. Under 5 seconds to go. Oh, it's looking like
conservative start again.
Conservative
start. They don't want that general recall.
But Hidde Vandermeer down that bottom end, taking a really attacking start there, and he's just cruising across this start. But not much separates them at all. France won. Paul also there, but it's looking like Germany taking...
Yeah, Germany 107 looks like to be in a really, really good position there. As we get to that first mark.
Oh, they're doing 27, 28 knots even. Good grief down this first reach. It's windy, 15 knots, and doing close to 30 knots. It's just mega, and it absolutely mega. But Hidde Vandermeer starting off that bottom end and taking an early lead. An early lead in this race, in this slalom race, but close behind Germany 107. Not much separates them at all as they keep there. And then also Ido in that Israel 16 in that top 3, really moving around.
Yeah, it all moves around so much, especially, and it's really interesting to see the pack very much separates at that first jibe mark. Some guys kind of opting to jibe a little bit tighter and head a bit more across the lake. Some guys opting to go as deep as they can and get as far downwind. And to be honest, the latter of those two tactics is the one that we've seen the most success in today. You know, with Ido Pomerantz and then of course Daniel Tash as well in one of the previous races. Both of those opting to go as deep as possible, and even Val Ertsen as well. You know, going really, really deep over Leo Tomasini and managing to get the lead over him as well.
Yeah, there we are. But Hidde Vandermeer just taking that little lead in front of Freddie Poloni there on their last leg of this downwind towards their second mark, but not much separates them at all. Around 10 meters, Hidde Vandermeer and also Freddie Poloni in these top 2 positions. Freddie Poloni putting in another jibe. That could mean they have underlaid this mark, actually, unfortunately. Yeah. But Freddie Poloni putting in a safe jibe just to keep his VMG all the way up. Followed by
looks like all of them have had to do it as well. So Freddie Poloni may be onto something there and realising let's do it first. But actually, Hidde Vandermeer, he will. He's undercut him a little bit there. We've seen a lot of that. I think it's better staying over on this side of the lake. That's what we're seeing. The guys that are going deeper like that, they generally are tending to come out with a better line and coming in the better positions there. Looks like Freddie Poloni has a little bit more straight line speed there, but we'll see if he can gain on him.
Extremely close though, isn't it? I mean, it's all going to come down to this last jibing boy. Hidde putting in his jibe now. Freddie for sure will be making a really attacking move there. Not too sure how it's going, but okay. Hidde Vandermeer putting in a very safe, a very decent, a very really conservative jibe there and keeping that lead towards the last leg, the last drag race to the finish. What will be going through Freddie's head just to the left of him? For sure, he will be wanting to gain as much as possible, but there is there's a bit of a lead on Hidde now, so for sure he will just be wanting
looks
to
like
keep
Hidde, looks like he's going to come away with a win here, and he's sitting fairly comfortably within that top 10 position as well in the overall standing, sitting in 8th. So yeah, he's not got nothing to worry about, but yeah, if he can have a good day today, his life is only going to get a little bit easier, isn't it?
That's it. But down that bottom end, we can also see someone down that right side really going for the low line, trying to get that 5th or 6th position, but it's looking like a bit of spacing out. But that dude down the bottom, that could be Daniel, or is he going, Korblimey? No, not quite.
Yeah, looks like
the rest of the fleet coming through the finish line of their slalom race here.
Ido Pomerantz coming away again with a 3rd as well.
Yeah,
having a good day today, a really good day today.
He is for sure. He will be inside that top 10. Really, not for sure.
He's currently in 18th, so he's going to have a really good day in order to get himself into that top 10. Again, I feel like earlier on he was a guy sailing with an idea of he's got nothing to worry about anymore. He just needs to push. Whether that's to try and get into it or go, do you know what? Actually, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, for sure. So he'll be wanting to punch into that top 10.
Exactly.
I mean, that's it. 18th position. Anything can still happen as you go into the replay of that race. A bit of a splitting up, really. Freddie Poloni and Hidde Vandermeer splitting up on this downwind, but coming together at this bottom mark here. Hida just taking that lead again, round that mask mark. Freddie really trying to push in, but unfortunately didn't manage to get it. But another amazing result from Freddie there. Hida winning that race, Freddie in that second, and finishing off that top 3. It was Ido Pomeranz on the leaderboard right here.
On third, yeah, absolutely. Really interesting to look at that. Yeah, it kind of does split the pack after that first jibe mark. You've got some of the guys heading a bit more across the lake, some guys going as deep as they can.
Yeah, but we have John Hyman in that 4th place position. A really good race from him there, and also Bonnie finishing off that top 5. Daniel Tashtash?
6th.
6th.
Very respectable.
Very respectable, but it will be that's kind of on the edge, really. He'll be wanting to get inside that top 10. He was on the edge, wasn't he?
He wants to be in that top 3, really, you know, especially to get himself out of that fated 11th position.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, here from the final series, the penultimate day here at the championships, under 21 World Championships and International Games, the focus is going inside that top 10, as tomorrow we have the medal races, meaning that only the top 10 men, only the top 10 women race tomorrow, trying to get those, well, and anyone can be world champion inside that top 10 tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the best bit about it, is anyone can be. Obviously, certain people will have to work a lot harder than others in that medal series, but it really does level out that playing field. And call it savage, but hey, this is a competition.
Oh, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, even the racing here, the racing that we've got on the screen at the minute in this stream is just absolutely epic. And if you're watching in, tuning in, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere that you're watching, do let us know that where you're tuning in for, what you're thinking of the racing so far. I mean, Sandy, it's just absolutely epic right now. It's dreamy.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect slalom conditions. As I said, generally they run the slalom in slightly less wind, which is what it was earlier. You know, it was only around 7 knots. But now it's picked up. It just gets even more exciting, doesn't it?
It's epic. I mean, we're looking at the committee boat there. We just saw on that grey boat, that's Gonzalo, but here we are, that committee boat. You see that red and white stripy flag? That means AP, means that there's some postponement for some reason. And we see in the boat in the left side of the screen, that's class manager Gonzalo Costa-Hovel, just having a conversation with the committee boat there. I'm not too sure what's going on right now, but for sure he will be trying to sort out something and get the racing going straight away.
Absolutely, yeah. Potentially just having a bit of a discussion. Obviously, the conditions have changed quite significantly. Exactly. Actually, I don't know. It's odd looking at the water there. It looks like there's no wind, so maybe the wind has completely dropped off. I mean, looking out, I don't know. Looking at the flags, it does look like the wind has dropped off slightly, but again, here it's so gusty here. As we take a look at Val Ertzen, so event standing at the start of the day, sitting in that 12th position, 13th, but coming away with a race win earlier. Is he gonna find himself up into that top 10 today?
It's so cool to see him up. He was just swagging out, wasn't he?
He's stoked,
giving the old Rocky fingers. He was swagging out. He won that race, absolutely amazing race, and we got it absolutely perfectly on the stream here. Yeah. He will be loving to watch that race back later, and we love that, watching that race lifetime.
Yeah, looking forward to the social media. It looks like the wind has completely dropped off there. Looking at it, I mean, you know, it looks like a mill pond now. It looks like we get our paddleboards out, go for a swim.
So, well, we were saying clouds come over. Can we cover our backs now? But the thing is, sometimes with clouds, they can do weird things. Sometimes they could really bring a load of wind for, say, 10, 15 minutes and then shut off everything. Maybe this is exactly what has happened here.
Well, the weather has been quite turbulent here, you know, over the last 24 hours. We had a huge thunderstorm last night. Came down, everything was still kind of soaking wet, and there was a lot of wind during that storm as well in the middle of the night. And then this morning, it was kind of like a normal day. The sun came out, everything was normal. The wind started as normal, and then it's kind of been a bit funky as the cloud has come over again. So yeah, kind of we're just on a bit of standby at the moment. If you are just joining us, we've had some great slalom racing for the men, but yeah, it looks like we're having a bit of a discussion. I think the wind has dropped off, potentially to below contestable conditions.
Possibly so. I mean, it's also, we are thinking about the wind strength here. Maybe it's completely dropped off and we can't race, but we also have to think about the stability of the wind. If it's too gusty, if it's too changing around, the angle of the wind, where it's coming from, that means that we can't race, unfortunately, as the course has to be correct. I mean, for sure we can race in lots of gusty, lots of changing conditions, lots of switching conditions. However, if it's really too extreme, then we do have to reset and take a look at the other options.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the whole idea of the kit being one design is to make it as fair as possible, and you have to say the same about the conditions. You know, if it's not appropriate conditions for fair racing, then the race crew, the class manager, everyone like that, they will make the decision to essentially postpone that racing and see if we get some better conditions coming through.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we're seeing a lot of the right. I mean, barely any of them falling. We see on
One.
the right one.
Yeah, one
But-
rider up and foiling.
But that might be because they're all trying to take a cheeky rest, you know. They want to. Oh, he's just
Could be the
swagging
case.
out. Dude from Ukraine, what a lad. Oh, giving it the old shaka, what a lad. Go on, lad. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Stoked to be here. Stoked to be here.
I mean, even with the clouds, even with this, what's looking like no wind now, Alexander just swagging out, having a really good time in this Under-21 World Championships.
Another rider, the sole representative for his country, a bit like Davis Mazeas from Latvia, Alexander, the only rider here from Ukraine as well, and looks like he's just having a great time.
Oh, it's just sick, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
so cool to see. But that's what the iQFOiL brings. That's what windsurfing as a whole brings to people. It's just mega, isn't it? I just love it. It's so cool. Everyone's just chilling around, having a good time, enjoying nature, enjoying sustainability, and it's just
Until they
wicked.
get on the water, and then as soon as we get on the water, and then it's every rider for themselves, and that's the point of difference. Everyone on the land, everyone's friendly and hugging, and hi, how are you? As soon as we get on there, yeah, sure, they wave at the camera and
Stas
things.
giving it the old rocky fingers again.
You
Go
can
on,
be
lad.
sure they're not waving to each other. You know, yeah, it's
Yeah,
everyone,
for sure.
everyone for themselves.
Oh, he's just cruising out, isn't it?
Stas
Pure
having a good
swag.
event as well. Yeah,
Hey, go on, lad. Go on, lad. I mean, he's had a great day today, hasn't he? That's a really, really good day. Some top 3 positions, really cruising out, really trying to stay in that top 10, ready for the medal races tomorrow.
absolutely. Yeah. So Stas actually, you know, looking at the kind of updated list on the website. It looks like Stas is actually now up into 8th position. So he was in
Whoa.
10th. So he has improved on his standing. And yeah, it looks like he's pretty clearly going to be through into that medal series tomorrow.
Well, you say that.
Well,
It's,
let's wait and see. Daniel Tashtash has also jumped up into 10th place.
Oh, go on, lad. I
Yeah.
mean, we did see some situations from Daniel there. I mean, he had
that unlucky jibe.
Yeah, I mean, he was winning 2 races today. I mean, unfortunately, in one of them, he did crash. He did explode on that final mark. But in his next race that he was winning, he did complete it and win that race. Amazing stuff. Right, okay.
So yeah, it looks like I'm not too sure. We're just waiting for full confirmation.
Yeah.
But I think that is potentially they're going to kind of postpone the racing a little bit. As you can see on the screen there, the wind has actually dropped off even more.
It's just said goodbye, isn't it?
Within a minute,
Yeah,
it just went
it's like-
boom. It's like we finished that race.
It pulled up. It was like, oh, I'm here. I'm gonna bust up some stuff. It's windy,
Yeah.
and then it just went away. So
Yeah.
I'll see you later. But
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it did disappear. Yeah.
I mean, none of them are falling now, even, which is.
I mean,
which
it's
means
got to be pretty
very
light. It's
I
got to
mean,
be very light. What is it? You know, we got a question earlier on the kind of minimum level. I think it's around 6, kind of 7 knots for the lighter riders to be kind of up and foiling. So it's got to be really not windy at all for them to not be able to get up on the foil at all.
Yeah, but the amazing thing that we've had here today, we've had, if you can scroll back a little bit, we've had some amazing racing so far. Absolutely amazing racing.
Yeah, so why don't we take a little look? Obviously, there's not much action at the moment, but let's take a little look at some of the action from earlier today, some of the racing. So we've got the replays of some of those start lines. Yeah, look at the difference there. You can see how much the wind has dropped.
Cool. Full power off this start line, full speed, full power, and Freddie Poloni taking a little lead in that start. But we saw Freddie having some amazing races today here as well. Some really good starts off that port end. But today it looked as if down that pin end, it looked like that was the place to start, wasn't it? Here we are coming up to another start. Oh, putting on the brakes. God blimey, some of them a bit early there, but just cruising out. Oh, it's light there, isn't it? It's like full power, reaching down. Oh, there we are, Gaspard, Paul, and also just missed another. I think that was Fred. Oh, there we are. Some of the crashes, some of the explosions. Was there another one? Oh, there we are. The Polish dude just having a little going out the front door. Leo Tomasini cruising down, just followed by Duncan. And there is Daniel Tashtash.
Oh, there he goes. He goes in.
There is his moment. Just
Such a strange. I don't know. It looks. It doesn't even. I'm not sure if the foil came out. You know. I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe we can ask him later. But yeah, I'm not too sure what happened.
Oh yeah, right.
As you see, another great start there. Yeah, as you said, it does look like the guys at the bottom of the start line at that pin end, it did look like they were having more success. And then as we came around here, there was kind of the fleet would separate. So some of the guys would head a bit more across the lake. A lot of the guys would take a much deeper angle heading down the lake. And the guys taking the deeper angle, they were the ones finding more success, I think.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, here... It's carnage. There we are. Duncan hitting the deck again. Oh, God, he got some distance on there, actually.
This was the race where it went from 7 to 15 knots in about 30 seconds, I think, and no one was expecting it. You could see the gusts on the water there.
I think this is the one where Hungary. Oh, go on. Oh, kaboom.
Straight down.
And another one. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. But that's it with this racing. I mean,
and again. Oh no.
Carnage. Here we are, but Val, this was the amazing move from Val.
Yeah, look at that.
There we are, absolutely cranking down, really taking the lead, attacking Lea Tomasini and taking the win there. Wow, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. But here we are. I mean, in the slalom races, really pushing to the absolute max, and we see when they're pushing the absolute max, they can unfortunately sometimes step over that boundary and really just take a drink, take an explosion.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been great. There's been some, really, really dramatic moments from that slalom. Obviously, with that wind picking up, a lot of guys found it a bit unexpected.
But yeah, here we are, back to the studio, back to the hut, and we're joined with Christina Pinosova. How has your day been?
Yeah, my day been so far bad because I did BFD, but yeah, the other two slaloms were good.
Okay,
yeah,
amazing.
So a mixed bag today.
Yes, kinda.
How are the conditions out there?
Pretty light. I was struggling to get up on the foil on the start, but then the gust came, so it was nice.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you said you got a BFD, unfortunately, but followed by 2 really good races. Was that BFD due to those tricky conditions, those changing conditions?
I think it was just my not paying attention too much and doing some mistakes. So.
Yeah, but you are still safely sitting in that 4th place overall, getting ready for the medal series tomorrow. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty excited because medal race is just anyone can win. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and then taking a little look at the screen here. Obviously, yeah, you're sitting in 4th place. How are you feeling about the competitors as well? Is there anyone you're kind of nervous to come up against, or do you not think about that? You kind of just think about yourself?
Of course that I'm keeping eye on other competitors, but usually I do myself and do the best as I can. So
just focus on because I imagine if you focus too much on what other people are doing, you kind of end up overthinking and you're like, accidentally do something wrong. Yeah, you need to focus a bit more just on yourself, I guess.
Yeah, but there were your stats on there. It said you've competed in 5 medal races in your career so far. So sounds like you have the experience for the medal race tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so, because last year was kind of hard for me because I did always a mistake in the medal race and I was sad afterwards. But yeah, I hope I learned my lesson and I feel happy.
Yeah.
But I think you have learned your lesson this year because earlier this year, what did you manage to do?
I won the Youth European, so that was really nice.
That's amazing. Well, you're Youth European champion, and I'm sure you're going to be hoping to be the Under-21 World Champion as well, right?
Oh, I hope so.
We shall see. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well,
of course.
Thank you so much for joining us.
That's
best of luck with tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome
Cheers.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, going back. Here we are, moving to those top 10.
Lot of love there for Christina Pinosova. All the girls are gathered round, and that's what we said. On the land, everyone's friends, but on the water, on the water, it's a different story. As we take a look at the top 10 men for this event, Gaspard Carventan, despite not having the best day yesterday, still sitting in that coveted 1st position going into the medal races tomorrow. And Davis Mazeas, he's brought himself up a position there. Sadly for Max Beeman, knocked out of 3rd place, Davis Mazeas will jump up in, meaning that he does not need to worry about that 1st race in the medal series tomorrow.
Davis Mazeas, I mean, Gaspard, he's straight into the final as he is in that 1st place position. 2nd and 3rd, he is then... 2nd and 3rd, they make their way into their semi-final straight away, and 4 to 10, they qualify for that quarter-final in the medal races tomorrow. It's going to be awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, so let's discuss a little bit then how that medal race works. So essentially, it's 3 races, and it will be positions 4 to 10 will be in that quarterfinal first. The top 2 of that will advance into the semi and go up against positions 2 and 3, and then the top 2 of that will go up against position 1. So yeah, Gaspard, he's chilling tomorrow.
He is chilling. Although, I mean, the thing is, as we said, the top 2 from each race, basically 4 to 10, they are completely equal tomorrow. It's
absolutely.
A clean slate
It doesn't
tomorrow.
matter. It doesn't
if
matter.
you're in 10th, I mean, we've seen in some of the in the recent iQFOiL competitions, people in 10th, they can come into an amazing position, qualify from the quarterfinal into the semi-final, through to the final, and win win a whole race basically. And that's what brings so much action, so much tension, and so much pressure to the races tomorrow. That's our little booth in there. We see all the lads crowding around, and we're joined by Manon Pianazza. How was your day?
Today was really good. I had only good races. The day before I had also bad races and good races, so today I managed to do 3 races on the top 3, so I'm happy and try to be the best if we go back on the water.
Yeah, and you're sitting in 3rd overall as well, so looking very good for the medal series tomorrow. How are you feeling about that?
I try to climb up all the week for this result, so I hope to stay at the 3rd place. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it puts you in a much better place, so you don't have to worry about that first race tomorrow. It's just into the semi-final.
Yes, I already did the final in the senior fleet, so I hope it will be good. And yes, it's cool to be in semi-final.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. I mean, you're straight to that semi-final tomorrow. What is your game plan? Do you have a plan in your head? What's your routine going to be tomorrow?
We'll see. If we go back on the water, maybe I will not stay 3rd. So we'll see. But if I stay 3rd, try to give my best to be in the top 2.
Do you want to go back out on the water, or do you want to...
No.
Oh, you're right.
No, but I love light wind, so if we go, I'm happy also.
So you prefer competing in the light wind conditions?
Yes, I prefer light wind.
Yeah, that's what we've been discussing. It's interesting. Some riders prefer high wind, some riders prefer low winds.
It could look like quite variable conditions out there, quite gusty, quite changing. How was that for you?
Yes, I love when it's gusty and shifty. I love to watch around and follow the gust. So
use the tactics. Yes. So you find a good gust, and then maybe there's a wind shift and things like that.
But here it's really shifty. Yesterday I had really bad races, so I love, but not too much.
But you managed to capitalise it on today and really climb up the rankings. I mean, currently you're in 3rd. It's amazing.
In slalom I managed to do good races. Yes.
Is it that you prefer the slalom races then?
In senior fleet, I prefer the slalom, yes. In youth, I don't know.
A mixture. Yes. But that's the idea, isn't it? Then everyone gets to, a chance to compete in whatever they're most confident with. And it's all about being the best all-round sailor at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, slalom, I think I prefer slalom.
Yeah. Just the downwind.
Slalom is really hard because if you do a little mistakes, you are dead.
So it's pressure on. Yes. I mean, it's pressure on for tomorrow with the medal races tomorrow. I mean, hopefully you manage to secure your place tomorrow in the medal races. But talk us through the medal race format tomorrow. Does it include both upwinds, downwinds, and reaches?
I think medal race, the format is more like slalom with a reach start, and you have to be at the start.
So something you can, that's as you just said, you like the slalom, so hopefully you're going to be a bit more confident with it then.
Yes. I love the slalom in light wind, but...
we'll see how strong it is tomorrow. Yeah. Right. Don't look too much at the forecast.
Yes, but we'll see.
Yeah, perfect. Well, Manon, well done today. Yeah. And best of luck for the rest of the competition.
Absolutely amazing. Well done, Manon.
Thank you very much. All right. As we close out into the final couple of minutes of today's show, don't forget you can head to Instagram at iQFOiL Class, where you can follow along all the behind-the-scenes action, catch up with everything that's been happening. Let's take one last look at the current top 10. Firstly, for the men, this is the most up-to-date rankings. Gaspar Carfentan, France 379 in that first place. Leo Tomasini and Davis Mazeas finishing up that current podium in 2nd and 3rd. Max Beeman sadly drops down into 4th. And then, we have the rest of the top 10. And as you said, from positions 4 to 10, everything's even.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's all good.
That's it. I mean, we're seeing in that 9th and 10th spot, Boris Shaw and Daniel Tashtad for sure tomorrow. If they manage to secure their place in the medal race tomorrow, it will be all in, all in. I mean, Daniel Tashtad's just, I mean, look at that, 1 point.
He's just managed to get himself in,
just there. I mean, if we have no more racing today, he's secured his place and he's going to be going all for it. But there we are, the most up-to-date top 10 rankings for the men, and moving on to the women. Adi Miller, again, just in that first place position by 1 point, extremely closely followed by Sophia Meyer. I mean, she's been having absolutely amazing competition so far, and there we are, Manon Pianazzo. We just had a little talk with her in that 3rd place position.
Yeah, Kristina Pinosova into 4th as well, and then of course another person to note, Marion Couturier, winning the big race yesterday, the marathon, and has found herself in the top 10 in 8th. And like you said, and we just mentioned it there, position 4 to 10, doesn't matter where you are in that, it's a level playing field.
Exactly. I mean, as we look down that bottom end, the 9th and 10th, Ola from Poland and Katrin is finishing off that top 10 for sure. Tomorrow they will be all in. They will
Absolutely.
be all
so yeah,
in.
That is your top 10 for the men and women, and that is the end of the show for today, the final day of that qualifying series, and now all eyes move to tomorrow and that medal series races where the top 10 for the men and the top 10 for the women will compete